nice seeing you.
I'm looking forward to your talk.
Well, thank you guys for being here, and thank you for those who are so faithful that have been to all my talks. I do change things around a bit, but you will hear a few things that you've heard before, but that doesn't matter because you hear what you need to hear, and whatever you missed last time, you'll pick it up this time. I'll just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born as a child, I had a very weak immunity. My constitution was very weak, and that led me to have asthma, bronchitis, allergies, the snotty noses. We all know children that are always sick. Well, I was one of them. So my parents medicated me a lot because that was what you did. And lucky though, my mother decided to look for other ways of healing me. And that led to her looking into nutrition. And with that, she actually became a bit of an expert at it. She studied with Dr. Bernard Jensen. I'm not sure if you're aware of him. Yeah, he's the person who developed the iridology chart. So, and she worked in that profession for 25 years. So I grew up in that, and when I became a teenager, my interest lay in that area as well. And so I started working with her after my HSC, and we worked together for 25 years, researching the food and health. And what became apparent very quickly is that yes, we have a diet, and we have that, pyramid that we all learned we should eat from. But it was the alkaline foods that healed us, and it was the acidic foods that did the opposite. Our body tended to struggle with acidic foods compared to alkaline foods. And so we changed that idea totally, that we have to eat off the pyramid, and became very active in teaching our clients how to eat alkaline diet. And it came with certain rules. The rules were that 60% had to be raw and 40% could be cooked. Now by cooked I mean not boiled and not in a microwave, perhaps the absorption method, such as with our rice and beans, we just soften it and we can heat it up. We just do not want to get to the high heat because that destroys all the nutrition. The other thing is 80% of our food should be alkaline and only 20% can be acidic. Now of that 20%, it's 10% your starches and the other 10% is your protein, right? So that makes up your 20%. So when we were teaching our clients this, we straight away saw that they became better, they became fitter, stronger, all that. But what also happened is that when they did reach the peak of their health, we looked into their eyes, and some of them were still very acidic. Now how can that be when we eat all the right things? Well, it happens when our mental state is acidic. So we learned also that our body follows our mind. So for instance, when we are stressed, we stop digesting. If we are sad, we tend to grab the sugary foods, like our beautiful looking cupcakes. If we are angry or we are in a hyper lifestyle, we tend to want to eat the animal protein or the salty foods. So very clear it was that whatever state we were in, our body would follow it. So you know how we say you are what you eat, and then that changed to you are what you absorb? Well, my personal opinion is that we are how we think. Because if we think positive, and we think kind, and we speak kind, then we desire the foods that fit that vibration. Because food comes with its own story and its own vibration. Yeah? So there was a study done by Dr. Masaru Emoto, and I've got pictures here and I will show you. Are we aware of his study?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll quickly go through it. Because he went through how water changes with the positive and the negative. Shall I pass that around?
Yeah.
And what he found, well, what he did first, he had bottles of water that he wanted to freeze in. He had his negative group and he had his positive group. And with the negative group, he would label the bottles and write a negative word on it. And then it would be frozen in. He did the same with his positive group, and he wrote, I love you, kindness, and even put names on it like Sister Teresa. He froze that in, because he wanted to look at the molecules, how they were changed. And he just expected that they would be like our snow, our ice, because they're all quite individual, but they're very beautiful. I'm not a drawer, so they're all kind of like in that kind of shape, yeah?
Snowflakes.
Yes. But what he found was that in the negative group, when he had a look at the molecules of water, it was like this. And not only was it like this, it was also grey and brown in colour. The colour had even changed. This, by the way, looks very much like a cancer cell. If we look at cancer cells, I've got a picture on there, it kind of looks like that. Our healthy cells are nice and round and strong like that. Sorry, Celia, I really should change.
That's okay, because
You did, yeah. Okay.
I've got the video.
Lovely. So, he also played aggressive music, loud, hard rock music when he did another test group in a negative group, and he froze that in. And then he did classical, soft, beautiful folk music as well in the positive group. And this had the same effect. The negative group, when the molecules, when he looked at it, were like this. And the positive group, it looked like that. Now, what does that say? That says that something as minor, like a word written on a label on a bottle, has so much effect on the water. Now, what's that got to do with us? Well, we are nearly 70% water. So if you have to think about it, how important is positivism? I don't know how to say the word.
Positivity.
Yes. You know what I mean. How important is that to us? Where our workplaces run, the people around us, our partner, the way we treat ourselves. If a positive word has the ability to stay beautiful and whole, and something negative breaks it down, how important is it, our environment? Yeah? Going a bit deeper, what about the food that we eat? Because we are so good at saying, I'm an environmentalist, I do this good, I do that, but 3 times a day we put food in our mouth. How much do we think about the vibration of our food? Let's talk about our fruit and vegetables for a minute. The ones that we buy at the supermarket. They are genetically modified. They are grown in soils that are depleted. They get sprayed their whole entire life, at least once a week. The people that work in the industry, to them it's a commodity. To them it has to be big and beautiful and plump and with a hard shell so they can cut it and throw it in the box and ship it out. They do not care for our health. They care about the pay packet at the end. By the way, the reason why our fruit and vegetables are so plump is because they genetically modified to hold water. The same happens to us when we have too much sodium, we hold water. That is applied to our fruit and vegetables. And so that's why now we have apples that are very juicy, full of water, but it's genetically modified. What kind of molecules do you think it carries? Yeah? Because is that apple places like that. Well, they don't look like this, and I tend not to call it food because to me it is, it's chemically treated. But this is the real food, and we call it organic food, even though it shouldn't be. It's just real food. It doesn't look like the other stuff, but it has been grown in soils that are full of nutrition. They haven't been sprayed, and even the water that they get is not chemicalized. Right? The people that work in industry, they take more care of their produce because they have to. Because it doesn't look the way consumers want it to look, so it's got to look the best that it can. So they take more care. But the vibration of this food is a lot higher. The water content inside those lettuces look like that. Yeah? You can even go one step further, and that's when we grow our own food, or when we are gardeners and we take care with the foods that we grow. The reason why that vibration is even higher, because we do it with all our love. And even if you don't have a garden, you can grow lettuces or herbs in pots on your veranda. Now, I'm going to ask you something. If that is you, if you grow some of your own food, take your child or take children into that garden. Show them what real food looks like. The lettuces or the leaves of the lettuces might not all look beautiful. And I'm going to get you to pick a lettuce that is not so beautiful. This lettuce might have a hole in it. I want you to do that to teach your child that it's okay to eat a leaf with a hole in it. That it's easy to eat a leaf with a hole in it. It's not that hard. Because we need to start changing our children's, thinking. We've got to throw out the old and put in the new. And the new is that this is the food we are meant to be eating. Not this. This is the food that has the highest vibration, that keeps us healthy, positive. If water is so important, and we're all made of water, and the food we eat is all made of water, make sure it is water with crystals that look like this, or cells that look like that. Yeah? I'm going to take it one step deeper, and because this has to be discussed, and that is the animals that we eat. The animals that we eat are also at least 70% water, just nearly. Yeah? And every food, if every food takes a story with them and has a vibration, then those animals too have a story and a vibration. And it doesn't really matter what your belief system is, whether it's okay to eat animals or not. It still is true that the animal is nearly 70% water. Let's look at the animals in our factories, factory farms. The pigs who are in gestation stalls, they live in that situation their whole life. Those sheds are filled with those pigs, and you cannot breathe the air. It is stifling. The stall that they are in are only just bigger than themselves. Now, if we imagine us flying from Brisbane to Perth for 4.5 hours, we are so happy to get out of that economy seat of the plane and do a stretch and walk around. Imagine not being able to do that for your whole entire life. In fact, the economy seat is at least twice bigger than what that pig has in its gestation stall. So what kind of cells do you think that pig has? Is it happy? The chickens are, like in the cages, that's horrific. I don't need to go into that detail. Even in our sheds where they are free range, they are allocated, just here it is, a size per chicken. It's not needed for them to be in a size bigger than that. And this is our free range. So there's like thousands of birds in those sheds. They get fed food that is genetically modified. Yeah? So they grow a lot faster, their legs can't hold them, and they just sit there in their own junk? Their beaks have been cut off? Now we think that beaks are like our nails. Their beaks are actually like our fingertips because they feel the difference between a tiny little rock and a bit of grain or food. They can feel that difference through their beak. It hurts them when it's being seared off, which is done to all these chickens. So how happy is that? Cows in this country have, when they are alive, a bit easier because here they are grass-fed. But this is really the only place. And
But I find, like if animal.
we have head chakra on the top of here. And if you go into just be quiet, and you don't have to go into meditation, but if you pretend to open up that area, you can let the pain out through that area. And also try to keep the blood flow in the front area of your forehead. You can even push the pain out there as well. The reason what is coming to me is maybe you are going to get messages through as well, that right now, when you have it you're not getting.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a solution, but if you're able to do that and get rid of the pain that way, then that is clear, and you might get messages through that will tell you how to deal with the migraines.
Stress as well.
Yeah. I have a feeling that you have tried lots of venues, lots of things. I might have a chat to you after we're finished.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I can have a look in your eyes and see how, well, you obviously have an overactive, you digest very quickly.
Yeah.
So I'll have a look in your eyes afterwards, and maybe we can come up with something which would be good. I think that is it. Oh yeah, the brain fog definitely disappears. And we have more energy, and we stay more youthful longer. Because if you take away that death process that I just talked about, how the body is just breaking down because of the junk food we eat. If we take that away, we do stay youthful a lot longer.
That's the reason for falling asleep after lunch.
Yeah, well, have to think what you ate. Look, age has a lot to do with it too, because even, like I'm now in my 50s and I feel that 4 o'clock comes and I'm thinking, I want to have a little sleep. And I might have not had junk food anymore. But I think you sleep more soundly if your body can rest. If your body has to work hard to throw out the toxins and clean your liver, which it does when we are asleep, then it has to do that, because that comes before anything else. But how restful do you sleep when your body's clean? Don't eat after 7:30 at night. You eat after 7:30 at night, our body's going to struggle to get rid of the toxins. Yeah? Good. The reason why I say 7:30 is because it's nice for our body not to have to digest for at least 2 hours. And look, in your case, do be kind to yourself. We have to be kind to ourselves first. And if that gives you pleasure, that you have those beautiful apricots at 12 o'clock at night, then do it. Also, talking in Byron Bay is very different than talking anywhere else in the world, because we in Byron Bay know so much. And the level, the frequency here is just so much higher. I really have to up my talks when I'm in Byron Bay, because people, instead of having chocolate at 12 o'clock at night, you have apricots. But the rest of people, they would have ice cream or chocolate.
Speaking of chocolate, it's really bad for us.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it's not. What it is, it's not what it is. It is the fact that it means you are lacking magnesium. That's why we are drawn to eat chocolate. We are drawn for it because it does have magnesium properties in it, but it causes stress to our system. Yeah, and that's why it's an acidic food. So yes, it does have magnesium in it, but the reason we feel like it is because we are lacking it.
But then it depends on how much. I think some people will eat the whole bar of chocolate.
Yes,
There's another person will eat one chocolate.
that won't harm. It is what you do every day. If you do good, then have that block of chocolate because you are aware. You know, awareness is so important. We need to stay aware. Yes.
And what's got magnesium in it then?
Okay, bananas has magnesium in it. You know, a lot of foods have magnesium in it. A lot of sodium foods have magnesium in it because the two
Grains.
Sorry?
Do you mean grains?
Yeah, grains as well. Yeah, grains have a lot of magnesium in it. The Himalayan how is that? Salt, the pink one. Things like that, you know. You're just missing some elements when you really crave chocolate. The little bit, I don't call that a craving. I don't call that just you being kind to yourself. Because really, if we are addicted to something, that is a mental problem. And you know yourself, you do not have a mental problem. You know, being addicted to
No,
sugar
I'm just
and
coming
fat.
from Switzerland. I mean, after all.
The honey chocolate.
Swiss chocolate. You should have bought some for all of us, Celia. Oh, you got the grapes. Okay.